Welcome back to Bedtime Stories with Meemaw. Tonight's story is called Swim, Polar Bear, Swim. Polar Star was the brightest, liveliest bear cub in the entire Arctic. He could turn somersaults almost before he could crawl. He never stopped asking questions. And at bedtime, after the first story, he wanted another and another. Polar Moon found it hard to keep up. Sometimes she complained. But at the end of the day, she always said the same thing. You are the most wonderful bear cub, and I am the proudest mother in the world. When spring came, Polar Moon led Polar Star down to the ocean. It's time for your first swimming lesson, she told him. Polar Star dipped his paw in the water. Is it deep? Is it slippery? And what shall I do with my paws? He asked. Jump up, said Polar Moon, and I'll show you. As soon as Polar Moon started to swim, Polar Star quivered with excitement. Can I try? He asked. And without waiting for an answer, he slid down his mother's nose and into the water. Polar Star gasped. Polar Star spluttered, and although Mom scooped him up in no time at all, he felt sure he had swallowed the ocean. Never mind, said Polar Moon at bedtime. You are still a wonderful bear cub. Now let's have a story and we can try again tomorrow. The next day, Polar Star didn't feel so brave. He clung to his mother until her fur hurt. And when at last he allowed himself to be lowered into the water, he flapped and floundered. My paws keep sinking, he wailed, and he hung on even tighter. You are a wonderful bear cub, yawned Polar Moon at bedtime, but how my back aches. Days passed and Polar Star grew more and more disappointed. He'd never found anything difficult before, and the more he worried about swimming, the more unhappy he felt in the water. Mom was disappointed too. She wanted to help, but didn't know how. Then one night, Polar Moon was so tired she spoke without thinking. Oh, Polar Star, I do wish you could swim. All through the dark, Polar Star lay awake. He tried to remember the last time Mom had said she was proud of him. And when Polar Moon came in next morning, Polar Star was buried under the bedclothes. Whatever's wrong? Asked Polar Moon. For a long time there was no reply, but at last Polar Star spoke up. If I don't learn how to swim today, he said in a muffled voice, will you still love me? Polar Moon pulled back the covers and held her cub. Oh, Polar Star, she cried, it doesn't matter if you never learn to swim. I shall love you to the end of the ocean. Polar Star bounded out of bed with a somersault. All through breakfast he asked questions, and later that morning Polar Star and Polar Moon slid gently into the water. At first, Polar Star held tightly to Mom's tail, but as he remembered what she had told him, he relaxed and without thinking let go. "Where are you?" cried Polar Moon in a panic. She dived deep to rescue him, but Polar Star was nowhere to be found. At last, Polar Moon came to the surface. "I'm here," panted Polar Star in the distance, "and my paws aren't sinking," he told her proudly. Then, with a splash and a flash of silver, Polar Star gave a great whoop of delight. I'm swimming," he called, and his cry seemed to echo to the end of the ocean. The end. I hope you enjoyed the story of Swim, Polar Bear, Swim. Come back soon for the next story. Please subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. I pray that you have sweet dreams. God bless each and every one of you. And until next time, bye for now.